Hello, Leo. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Leo is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Leo, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And look at that star card, beautiful energy. This is your first position. This is the station, represents kind of like how we're seeing ourselves right now, our subjective experience of life. Kind of what's on your mind when you close your eyes. I think right now, Spirit, see the star card represents Source or Spirit itself, represents your essential self, your star, right? And it has two phases, the energy of this card. First phase is, if we allow the light to come in, the insight, we look inside, and we start to understand where our knots of karma are. Our weak spots, our sore spots, our buttons, our triggers. The Spirit will show us that so that we can start doing that inner alchemical work, that inner psychological or spiritual work. Okay? And phase two, once we start clearing out some of those blockages, that light starts to flow out from us. Okay? And we end up radiating a particular light. Our uniqueness, our solar energy, our perspective, our personality shines, right? That light also starts to show us our yellow brick road to our emerald city, to our big rock candy mountain, to our best life. Okay? And those two phases of the star energy, they need to happen in tandem. We don't want to wait until one is finished to start the other. It sort of happens simultaneously as that light starts to flow out from us. And guess what? That is the magician of the tarot. So the star is here to remind us that we're the magician and encourage us to do that inner spiritual work so that we can become a better magician. And so as your sort of first card today, I feel like you're doing a lot of that inner work right now. I feel like you're making connections with Spirit. You're doing a lot of depth work, either you consider it psychological work or spiritual work, self-development work, that sort of thing. And I feel like you're getting a lot of insight into your life and into what some of your blockages are and how we are being drawn to a particular purpose in life, a way that we can continue to shine our light, irradiate our light into the world. We need to put this card into a little bit of context. I feel like you're somebody who's really, really tapping in, okay? I think your life currently is very focused on the spiritual development. Maybe it hasn't always been that way, right? Maybe we've been avoiding something that Spirit's been trying to show us. This card doesn't always show us what we want to see. In fact, the opposite shows us what we need to see, which very often we don't want to. So let's continue on. There's a Knight of Wands. Continuing on with some zest, with some fire, with some real motivation here. Okay, we're about to begin something very new. We have a Six of Wands down here. There's the High Priestess. Yeah, the High Priestess is leading us. The High Priestess really is the light coming off of the star energy. And that light, in the attitude of reception, as that light comes in, that brings us the insight. The insight leads us to action, motivated action. Okay? A Two of Wands, a lot of fire energy, a pillar of fire right here. That's beautiful. And leading us to, of course, pleasure, fulfillment, satisfaction, connection, family, community. I think this has to do with you reaching out and making connections with the world around you. Pets, plants, people, romantically, in terms of, friendships, family stuff, all of that. being part of a, belonging to a group, or feeling as if we belong to the world, right? There we have the Ace, and we have the Fire and Earth. We have the Ace of Pentacles. We have a Knight of Pentacles. So we got a lot of fire. I feel like we're going to get a lot of earth over here. Ooh, but we have an Ace of Cups. Very good. But a Seven of Swords as well. And I think the Seven of Swords is really good in this position because it lets us know, for one thing, that that spiritual work doesn't end. Okay, that just because we've looked inside, we've had the insight, you know, we've seen inside of ourselves, inside of our lives a little bit. And we're making this change, whatever this new thing is that we're starting, doesn't mean that we don't have to look inside ever again. You know, it means, the Seven of Swords means that eventually you will be confronted with more obstacles, more resistance, more internal blockages that you got to look at, more knots of karma that we have to untie. Okay? And very often this card is kind of about distractions. We start this new thing. We're on this new course, this new trajectory. And we'll run into doubt. We'll run into confusion. We'll run into a part of our psychology that wants to be distracted. And we think, wait a minute, what's going on here? Why am I having doubts? Why am I second guessing things? Why am I being critical of myself again? You know, well, there's something else that we need to look at eventually, right? So the work kind of repeats. It comes in cycles or waves, and it does have to repeat over time. So this is reminding us that it's not a one and done. It's not a one-stop shop, that star card. Okay? We're always trying to refine our magicianhood. Well, let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. Set it down right here with Tiny Bob Ross right on top. We're not going to look at that happy little card until the very end. It will tie everything together and give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card could be, put your prediction in the comments down below. You'll have to forgive me. I'm having some allergies today. My throat's a little sore, a little raw. I'm a little congested up. But anyway, let's look around the room. The star's the only, well, these two, I guess, are the only major arcana energy we have, the star and the light of the star, anyway. So I think this is really important that we have that, because it is like Spirit has led you to this moment where you have figured something out inside of yourself. Something has clicked for you. Something has clicked for you. And it is motivating you to make a significant change in your life, whether we're beginning a new physical path of health or well-being, a new physical or financial path, a new relationship, a new family adventure. I kind of hope the mystery card will be the Fool or something like that. It feels like Spirit has led you to this moment. Okay, we obviously have fire, fire, fire. We got water and water. A little bit of air. A little bit of air, which I think it's kind of good to have a little bit. And we have our earth cards. So the second position for you, this is the obstacle, the battlefield. This is a card of activity. This is the card that says, you know, we have to trust in our impulse and leap forward now. Because I think that we've done that introspective work. We've had the insight of this card. Something has clicked. Something's been revealed to us. We've understood some blockage that we have. And so we say, okay, now that I see the blockage, I can continue on through that blockage. I don't have to let it stop me in my tracks anymore. So now some energy has been freed up in you, and this energy now is ready to just surge forward. Spirit's saying that you have a strong connection with music. Yeah, that your emotions are very much aroused by certain forms of music, or certain emotional states are triggered by certain songs and things, yeah. The Knight of Wands is a card of leaping forward with trust. That we've been inspired to action, we're not overthinking it. It's kind of like saying, leap first, trusting yourself here. Knowing that eventually we'll have questions, oh my God, did I do the right thing? Did I make a mistake? Should I do something else? Was it wrong of me? Well, no. It's not. Okay? You're being told to leap. You're being told that you have cleared some blockage inside of you. This energy is free to move forward, and you need to trust that. I mean, that's what's going on here. The the blockage being cleared away, that electrical signal, that spiritual electrical current of creation is able to flow smoothly now. This card is about you trusting that and not overthinking it. The horse and the rider have to be one unit, right? Not mistrusting of each other, not like doubting and all this stuff. If the horse doesn't trust the rider or the rider doesn't trust the horse, bad news. You're probably going to fall down, okay? So this card is about no hesitation. You've cleared the blockage, leap forward, let the energy surge forth from you into whatever this new thing is, because it's going to lead you to exactly what you want. That Six of Cups, that joy and beauty and pleasure and harmony and family and community and togetherness and all that stuff. It's going to be great. So that's the obstacle for you, though, right now, is to let yourself leap forward, for you to trust your impulse to go forward. Okay? And I think it's very clear with the fire and the earth here that we have that spiritual electrical circuit of creation. Maybe this is something that you've always wanted, but we realize that there's something blocking me from getting it. And so Spirit has shown you what that was. And once you recognize it, I think you've done some of that spiritual work. You've processed something in some way. And that energy is here now to leap forward. Okay? And you find comfort in like nighttime, or like stars and the night sky, the quiet of the late night hours. I feel like you're kind of a night owl, right? Under the surface, we have the Six of Wands. This is, to me, the harmony between the sort of internal state and the external state, that I know that what I want inside, or what I feel, or what my intentions are, I'm able to manifest them outside of me. So it's a 3 and a 3, right? It's the inner virtue resulting in the positive act outside of us. And so I feel like this is your energy really connecting, because you want this. This is something that you believe in, and it's something that perhaps you've always aspired to. Or the goal is something that we've always wanted, but there's always been some kind of a blockage to us doing it. This is the idea that, I walk into a room and I enter with a certain intention. I want to talk to everybody. I want to make friends. I want to laugh. I want to have a good time. I want to feel comfortable. I want to bond with people. I want to leave here feeling like I really had a good time and I really was able to, to connect and have the experience that I want to experience. But then we get there and it doesn't happen that way. Something prevents us from really just being ourselves, from letting our energy go, letting our energy connect, right? And then we walk away saying, God, that really didn't go how I wanted it to go. But this is a mirror image. This is a 3 and a 3, And of course, we have our 3 and 3 of Cups, too. So this is saying, I'm confident that who I am now before I walk in the room is exactly who I'm going to be when I walk in the room, and I'm here and I'm confident and I'm going to have those conversations, or I'm going to talk to the people around me. I'm going to make the connections. I'm going to network. I'm going to mingle. It's going to be a great time. Okay? Because it doesn't always happen that way for us, right? Sometimes it doesn't connect. And there are a lot of factors, but I think right now we're understanding how there has been something inside of us that's been preventing that connection from being made. So that's why we have a 6 here, because now it's this confidence that says, I know that I can, whatever intention I have, I can walk into the room and I can express myself in that way. Okay, then I'm not going to be intimidated. I'm not going to be so shy or awkward or uncomfortable. We may always be awkward and uncomfortable. I sure as heck am. But we have that confidence that says, I can walk into the room and I can say what I want to say. I can be myself. I can let my light shine, right? That's what we're doing here. And that's the 6 of Wands, is that sort of confidence. This is the feeling of victory. Not that we've competed with somebody and we've kicked their butts. No, it's kind of a victory with ourselves. It's like, I know who I am and what kind of experience I want. And I want to make sure that when I walk into the boss's office, or I walk into that party, or I go out to that social event or whatever it is, that I can create that experience that I want. That I'm not just shy, sitting by myself, or I'm the wallflower. I didn't come in there wanting to be a wallflower. I wanted to be on the dance floor and making friends and having a good time, And so it's kind of it's that mirror image. That who I am on the inside, I want that to be mirrored on the outside. I'm letting my light shine here. This is that victory that's saying I didn't let my own psychology or my own complexes or my own nerves or my own awkwardness or anxiety get the best of me. Okay, so it's a victory, it's a win for ourselves personally, internally a victory. Okay, now in the background, that high priestess. The high priestess is the intuition, it is the light, it's the guide that has brought you to these moments in time. And very often the high priestess, because the high priestess is card number 2, right? What's card number 3? What is right behind the high priestess? Yeah, the empress. The mother energy, the big rock candy mountain, our sense of home, our sense of paradise, the Garden of Eden, our best life, you know. And so we know that the high priestess, that spirit, the light from the star, is guiding us to that. It's kind of like we see the light that is coming from the star, and that beam of light, those photons, right? They reach our eye, and they do something to us, and it inspires us. And so we start following that light, okay? And very often that light, this is the light will lead us through some briar patches. We've got to go, you know, over the river and through the woods to get to grandmother's house, okay? And so we know that sometimes the Spirit's going to bring us to things we don't want to confront. But we're trusting in the process. We're trusting that if it's difficult for me to do it, it's probably what I should go do. You know, whatever's too easy for me, I'm not really developing. I'm not really growing. I'm just kind of reinforcing something that's already there, and that's good. But basically, we don't want to avoid the difficulty. We don't want to avoid the difficult things. Okay. I think this is something particular for you, whether it is I don't know if it's a path, if it's a work kind of career path that you're engaging with, if this is a family thing, if this is you kind of getting out there and making friends or finding significant others, whatever it might be. I feel like you understand that Spirit is showing you the reasons why that's been difficult for you. Okay? Very often this is a card that's kind of saying like, take my hand and let me show you the way. It's not going to be comfortable, but it will be worth it. So you're kind of going through this curtain of fire, this fire right here. That's, you know, and Spirit's kind of saying, no, take my hand, come with me through the fire. And we'll get here to this wonderful, wonderful sense of belonging, this sense of value and community and love and connection. We've got to go through the fire, see? I think this card is, you know, it's also part of your spiritual practice. I think that you're kind of a natural medium or a channel, or you do some kind of divination. You have like a natural ability to kind of read into things. You have a tremendous insight. And maybe you even read tarot or other forms of divination for other people, but I feel like you have a hard time doing it for yourself until now. I feel like now you're getting that real insight into our own spiritual development, okay? I feel like you really do crave the silence. I think that you receive your most intense downloads in the middle of the night or when you're outside in a sort of secluded place, a grove, some, you know, out in the hills somewhere, but particularly under the night sky. Okay, I think the star is literally like the night sky here for you. Okay, and I think deja vu. You've been feeling more deja vu lately too. I'm getting that impression. The high priestess is you kind of following that intuition and letting that light, and maybe you've kind of been hermit mode lately, because I feel like that spiritual guidance has been telling you that you've got to go inward. God, you have to go in. Add dreams, probably a lot more dreams lately as well. Okay. Up at the top here, we have that 2 of Wands. And now you're obviously a Leo energy. You're a fighter, right? You have a stature and a strength about you that you can summon. This is really the card that's, it's almost like we're getting kind of like worked up, not mad necessarily, but a little bit in a good way. Because we're saying, I should be able to direct my life the way I want to direct it. So it's kind of like we almost feel like this is absurd. Like when I don't have that mirror image, right? When I can't just be myself and walk into a room and have things go the way I intend for them to go, at least for the most part. We feel like we should be able to control ourselves. If I set an intention, I should be able to do it and not have it fall apart because of me, at least. If it's kind of like saying, if this thing takes a dive, I don't want it to be my fault. If this relationship doesn't work out, I don't want it to be because I was too shy or I was too timid or too anxious or too awkward, you know? And so I think of social situations. I think of us going out on a date or going to someone's party, something we've been invited to, some kind of an event, or going to the gym or something like that, and thinking I'm going to the gym not just because I want to get muscles, but because I kind of want to like find a community, or maybe I'm going to go to the library, or I'm going to go to a meetup group or something, or I'm going to go to a new church or temple or lodge, going to the community center, going to a book club, not just for the practical benefit, but because I want to like make connections. I want to find my people, And this is kind of saying like I go to these things, but I end up like not talking very much to people. I end up being really quiet when I don't want to be quiet. I want to connect. I want to get to know people. I want to feel comfortable. I want to feel easy, flowing energy. And this is kind of that card that's saying, I don't like losing. I don't like not being able to do that. It's my life. I should be able to do what it is I intend to do within reason. This is also the card of control. We have to know what we're capable of controlling and what we're not. Sometimes situations don't work out through no fault of our own. Okay, so we need to be okay with that part of it too. We want to make sure that if I go to the book club, that I'm going to participate, I'm going to raise my hand, I'm going to laugh and joke around, I'm going to leave there feeling like, oh, I like these people, they like me, I can't wait to come back. Okay? I'm going to do everything in my power, everything that I can control to make that happen. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. If other people, maybe you're the one that's really outgoing and other people just kind of shut down, okay, well, it's not. You did everything you could. So we have to know that we can only control our own behavior and responses, our own mental and emotional states, our own physical states, to some degree anyway. We can't control how other people respond to us. We can't control how other people may be handling their own internal states and their own behaviors, okay? And that's what this card is. How much of this is under my conscious control? How much is just the universe going to do what it does? It's me, and then it's the Wheel of Fortune, And I think that you're somebody that likes to feel like they have some sort of control over a situation. Okay, and I really think in this case you do. You have this pillar of fire, which means we've got to go into that awkward situation. We've got to do our very best to let our true energy shine forth. You're going to be outgoing. You're going to be a conversationalist. You're going to be charming. You're going to, maybe this is a work thing. Maybe this is a meeting that's coming up for you. Whatever it is, a family gathering, a reunion. Maybe it's a date. You're going to be yourself. You're going to let yourself express itself, right? You're going to let your light shine. Maybe the mystery card will be the Sun card. In the future position, the way forward for you is to enter into that social situation. That's a family, that's a community, this is a very pleasant experience. This is saying, I went there and I feel like I belong. I like these people and these people like me. It's like we leave thinking, I wish that work meeting was longer. How many of us ever say that? I used to be so awkward going to the work meetings. I would try to like calm myself down in the car before I'd walk in, and I'd breathe, and I'd get there really early, like a half an hour early, so I could just kind of breathe in the car. And then I'd walk in, and I would try to just be kind of like almost like stoic, like I would just be like stone-faced, And it usually would take me a while to just kind of relax in my chair and start joking and talking and initiating conversations. Usually I just kind of sit there and try not to feel awkward, right? And so I very much would have a 4 of Swords and a 4 of Cups for those when I do a reading for myself before those events. But you're getting all this fire energy, you're getting a 6 of Wands and a 6 of Cups. You're going to go in there and you're going to knock their socks off. You're going to go in there and you're going to be charming and outgoing and funny, but not too much. It's just right, And it's going to go so smoothly for you. It's going to go so smoothly for you. And I'm a little bit envious because I wish I would have had this kind of energy. I think I might have that energy now. I don't have that job anymore, so. But this is a feeling of family, you know, and in that sense, it doesn't mean this is a family thing. This could be a work thing. It could be a job interview even. It could be a first date. But it's going to feel like you belong there. It's going to feel like family because you're going to feel comfortable. This is how I feel going to my grandmother's house. She lives in California still. Going to my grandmother's house, it's just an ease. There's a comfort. There's a warm feeling. It just feels comfortable. It feels safe. It feels loving. It feels like the energy is just bright and it's just sunshine most of the time, you know? And so that's the feeling we want. We want to walk in and just feel like we're at home. I'm not going to put my feet up on my grandmother's coffee table necessarily, but I'll take my shoes off and I'll relax, you know, and I'll speak freely and I'll feel comfortable. Okay? I won't be overthinking everything. If you have to use the bathroom, it's not like, oh, when should I use the bathroom? Do I have to ask? Do I just get up and leave? Do I say something? What do I do? Where's the bathroom even? Like, you know, no, you just do it. Okay, there's a comfortableness there. And doesn't mean that you're going to be so rude at your company meeting and you're going to, like, you know, kick your feet up on the conference table or anything like that. But you're going to feel as if I deserve to be here. I belong here. It feels like this is a home for me. I shouldn't feel like I'm a guest, I'm out of place, and I'm like, I mean, we want to be respectful, obviously. But I don't want to feel like I need to have permission just to breathe because I'm imposing on all these people and somehow they let me in, you know, by the grace of the divine, and I shouldn't really be here, but they're doing me this huge favor. No, you belong there. Okay, and you're going to feel comfortable. You're going to feel like you belong. Path of the Serpent. Let's talk about these cards. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. I'm spelling sandalwood or something. It's incense or oil or something. You've got some kind of perfume. I think it's sandalwood. I don't know. It's something rather lovely but very strong. Yeah. Anyway, you're probably burning an incense or something right now. The Ace of Pentacles as your general energy. This is you taking that step into that challenging situation. This is you beginning this thing. Now, this could be, let's say, I'm going to start going to the gym. I'm going to go to the company meeting. I'm going to go to the family reunion. I'm going to go to the high school reunion. I'm going to go to that job interview. I'm going to go out on that audition. I'm going to start, I don't know, I'm going to start taking drum lessons, or I'm going to go to the book club. I'm going to step into that new church or that new temple or the new place of worship. I'm signing up for that class and I'm going to go take that class. This is you actually doing the thing that first time. And I think that first time may feel obviously a little awkward, right? But we see that this is, yes, a challenging situation, but you're going to ease in very quickly and it's going to be very, very comfortable for you. Okay? But we have to be willing to do that. We have to be willing to take that step. Yeah. And that's fire and earth too, by the way. Fire and earth. Well, we have fire and earth here. We have fire and earth here as well. The Knight of Pentacles is in the environment. It's the way you're kind of looking at this thing, and you're looking at the future. Now, see, I should point out, the Knights of the Tarot. The Knights are always processing a beginning of something. How do I begin something? Well, this Knight begins things quickly. Jumps on the horse, giddy up. Doesn't worry so much about supplies or preparation, or doesn't overthink it. This doesn't necessarily overthink it either. Maybe the Knight of Swords would be the one that has to think everything through before they start. This is spontaneity. This is improvisation. This is saying, you gotta use the bathroom, get up and say, I'll be right back. Go do whatever. Go do your thing. You don't have to ask permission. You don't have to over-explain. You just sort of do what comes naturally. Let it flow forth from you. That's how we begin something. Trusting our impulse, and not sitting there and overthinking it. It's like when it clicks in your brain, I got to use the bathroom. you get up and you do it in a natural way. That's what this card is. The shadow side of this card is when I got to use the bathroom. And then you sit there and you think about it. And it's on your mind. You're not paying attention to the meeting anymore because in your mind you're saying, I got to use the bathroom. Yeah, gosh, this is uncomfortable. When's a good time? Everybody's talking now. Should I just get up? What do I do? Do I ask? Do I interrupt everybody? Do I try to sneak out? Do I hold it? You know, and that's the opposite of this card. So anyway, the Knight of Pentacles is also talking about the beginnings, and this is kind of like, this is the feeling like I'm prepared. This is the feeling like whatever I need on this path, I'm going to have. You know, this is a card not actually moving, but looking at the goal, looking at the 10 of Pentacles, the outcome that you want. Okay, in a very practical way. Who I am, where I am, what I'm doing down the road. Maybe this is a card that's saying we need to visualize this process before we do it. But not just with the visual, you know, senses, not with just with the eyeballs, with the entire being. Make it a physical reality. Visualize, before you start whatever this thing is, visualize the process. Visualize yourself there at the event. On the path, on the road, in the room, doing whatever this is. Visualize it, not just see it in your mind's eye. Hear it, smell the smells, taste the taste, feel the warmth of the coffee you have in front of you at the meeting or something. And go through the scenarios, but make it real. Feel the hard coolness of the conference table. Feel the solid kind of that, you know, that really thin office carpet that they probably have. You know, feel those things. Feel the anxiety too a little bit, and work through those scenarios. But this is the vision of the future. Visualize the outcome that you want, not in a static picture that you're there with a big smile on your face, but move through the room in your mind's eye beforehand. Okay, that's what the Knight of Pentacles really does, is sort of seeing the outcome we want, reverse engineering it, so we figure out the steps forward. It's kind of this, the one that has to visualize every step of the way first, and then can get, see, this card's not moving physically, moving mentally, spiritually, having that vision of the future, and that's why it's not moving yet. It's having the vision first, and then it's going to leap into action. So if we do this first, and then we leap into action, okay, then we're not going to overthink it. Then it's kind of like, you know, I've already pretty much planned for everything. This card's also in your environment and also in the position of your relationships. So I feel like you understand that doing this thing, whatever this path is for you, is leading you somewhere you really want to go. So we're able to look into the future here, and we're able to see this particular situation, whether it's a relationship or a meeting or some kind of a new path or new project you're going on. We're able to see how it might progress, how it might lead to a very positive future. It's saying, I know who I want to be, I know where I want to be, and I know what I want to be doing, which means that I got to make the good decisions now. It means that I've got to go through this, even though it's difficult and challenging and it's awkward and I'm anxious. I've got to do this because it's going to be really good for my life. We avoid going to the gym for all these other different reasons. We avoid going to the company meeting for all these reasons. We avoid getting the promotion or going on the audition for all these different reasons. When we know that doing that is going to lead to that best life, like that's the only way to get that life I want, is to go do that challenging thing. Okay, now, the next card in the fear, worry, concern position is the purity of your heart. Okay, this is the obstacle for you. Because for one, I think that we are sometimes not so, don't believe so heavily in our own value. We want to be, we want to feel like we're at home here. We want to feel like I belong, like I should feel comfortable here, right? But if this is the obstacle, this sometimes is us saying, I don't feel like I really deserve to be here. I don't feel like I really belong. I feel like I'm a guest, even in my own life, you know. As if I feel like I have to ask for permission to do everything. This is where we feel like we're equal to everybody else. I have just as much right to be here and use the bathroom and get a cup of coffee as any other employee here, okay? We're valued for who we are, that we're loved and we're accepted exactly how we are. This is the card now that's kind of saying, I don't always feel that. So I wonder if this is part of that, the blockage that the star is trying to show you, that maybe we undervalue ourselves. Maybe we feel like, even though you're an employee too, and you have just as much right to be here and use the bathroom as everybody else, that way I still feel like I'm a guest, it's a privilege, I don't really belong, they were so nice to let me in today, and I'll just sit here and hold it and suffer because I'm not equal to everybody else. I don't have the same value as everybody else here. So it's a question of how we're valuing ourselves and what we feel like we deserve, what we feel like we're sort of what we're due in this situation. I deserve to have a happy relationship, or we don't want to have these feelings of inferiority. Okay, it could be that's something that's hidden, is that idea of, you know, how we're determining our own value. And if we feel with the Six of Cups, if we feel as if we are valued equally as everybody else, okay, it doesn't mean we're the same as everybody else. It means we're appreciated, we're valued, and we're loved, you know, the same as anybody else would be in this situation. Not necessarily like you're getting paid the same amount as your other coworker over there or something, right? But that I have just as much right to be here as anybody in my position would. Okay, so we're not trying to overvalue ourselves or compare ourselves to others, but saying, I can appreciate who I am and what my position is, and I know what is appropriate for me. Okay, we're not expecting them to roll out the red carpet and treat us like kings and queens, you know. Maybe they will, but I doubt it. We're expecting kind of like just a reasonable level of love and support and value. Okay, but I think that this card is saying that maybe that's part of the issue here, is that we don't feel as if we sort of deserve the good stuff that everybody else is provided. Okay. And so we might find ourselves kind of, you know, not going to the bathroom when we need to, or like, you know, turning down the food, or they're buying lunch for everybody and you're saying, oh, no, none for me. No, you deserve it too, you know. And I think that's why we have this card in this position of our anxiety. Okay. And the Seven of Swords, well, of course, that's going to be, you know, that's going to be some intellectual or mental challenge, some mental resistance, okay? That it's going to be, when you're about ready to say something, there's going to be a lot of thoughts in your head that say, no, don't say it. Let somebody else say it. Don't raise your hand. Just hold it, you know. Use the bathroom when the meeting's over, that sort of thing. And this doesn't have to be a company meeting for you. This could be anything. You follow your impulse when you have this. When you have something to say, when something clicks in your mind saying, I want to say this is my opinion, I have a good idea, or I've got to use the bathroom, or hey, I'm kind of hungry, or hey, I want some coffee. All these other thoughts are going to come in and say, no, don't do that. Why? Because you're not like everybody else, right? You have to fight against that. Your own mind is going to try to distract you and prevent you from doing the things that you know instinctively, intuitively, reasonably, that you need to do in this situation. You know, you're having that first date and it's like you think of something to say, oh, I want to ask about, and then your mind says, no, don't say that. Don't ask questions, or don't talk about yourself, or don't make that joke, or tries to prevent you from doing what comes naturally to you. We're trying to stay on that Ace of Swords. We're trying to keep that clarity. But there are all these other little daggers that are kind of like trying to stop you from doing that central, you know, communication, whatever it might be. Yeah. Let's look at our mystery card. After all of this, I want to see the Empress. I want to see maybe the Fool. I don't know what it's really, maybe it'll be a 6 of Pentacles. So we have 6 and 6, maybe we need another 6 or a 6 of Swords. I think a 6 of Swords would be nice, that beauty and harmony in our communications. Well, let's see what we have. A King of Wands. This is somebody that deserves to be there. This happens to be your Leo power card. So this, I think, is all that confidence that we needed. This is saying, yeah, you belong there. You deserve to be there. So you're sitting there not just kind of like trying to hide and just trying to make yourself small and like just try not to be noticed. You're sitting up straight, boldly, chest out, shoulders back, like royalty. Okay? And you believe that you're here and you're royalty. Well, so's everybody else. Okay? Calm down. So's everybody else. But you belong there. And so this is that real Leo confidence that's saying, I deserve to be here. And I have this motivation. It's like this is something that I'm going to try to sustain. Okay? So I think that this is that kind of stature. To me, this is that pure confidence. It's a fixed fire energy. So it's kind of like I'm believing in myself. I'm trusting this process, trusting this change, and I'm not going anywhere. And I'm here, and this is me, and, you know, to me, we're just radiating that confidence. Yeah. I think this is good. We're going to do an extended reading as well. If you want to stick around, we'll do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. There is a link in the corner. There's a link down below. New readings for Leo on Mondays and Thursdays. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you are watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we are all in this together.